Sorry? Works. Okay.
Bună dimineața! But I would still like to hear it loud this morning. Bună dimineața! Oh, you did very well. Good morning to everybody and welcome to Cluj. Welcome to the fourth time that Europe goes local. And we can have some claps. My name is Andra. I'm a citizen of the world and a stubborn sustainer of real participation. And I have the pleasure in this event to be one of your facilitators. And I'll be doing this together with
Teja. Hi, I'm Teja from Slovenia and very happy to be here in Cluj.
Yes, and my name is Domagoj, and I hope that you can hear me well. Yes, and I come from Croatia, and I'm also really, really happy that we will have the chance to work together for the next 3 days.
We have been exploring a lot in the background of this wonderful event. For example, we know that Teja is also working a lot with the trade unions. And we also know that Dom here is doing a lot of magic, inspiring also teachers. We'll discover much, much more in this event, which, do you know why, in what context is happening this event? Let's hear some shout-outs. What's the context of this wonderful event that we're having? Oh! So yes, in the context of the European Year of Youth, in the context of actually finally finishing with the pandemic and having a chance to meet each other and face to face and have an event, and also in the context of the fact that we want to make this interactive, dynamic, and meaningful. Our event has a few objectives, a few aims, and this is also why we are here for. Launching the Europe Goes Local platform, providing a space and time for different delegations, whether they're national or regional, to sit together, to discuss the challenges and also the opportunities of youth work. We want to also be discussing what does it mean basic youth work offer, and also to see what does it mean in the context of the different ecosystems that all of us are coming from. And not at least, we want to be meeting each other, meeting local organizations and meeting also local organizations from Cluj, from Romania, that will present their practice. We would hope that in these days you'll have a good time here and have time to interact, to exchange, and also to breathe. Breathing youth work, of course. So with this being said, let's have one of our practices in a lot of European and national and youth work in general is the one clap. Who here knows the one clap? One clap for, and we clap. Anybody has done it before? Yeah, perhaps, we see. So we'll practice a first moment in this morning together. You know, we know that some of you just came from the flight, you know, straight here. Some of us had a very strong coffee, obviously. Some of us didn't, but we'll try to be together and to give one clap for the beginning of Europe Goes Local. So let's prepare.
Do it.
And we'll take one clap, for a fine beginning here in Cluj. Perfect! Woo! And since we talked a lot about Europe going local, since we talked about being interactive, we will explore this in, as we said, in a few days that we have together, and we'll try to engage you as much as possible. Kind reminders at the beginning of this wonderful conference that is a mask-wearing event. We have the privilege when using microphones not to have masks, but please do wear your masks. And I think you were all provided with them. Of course, when you're drinking coffee or eating, you're not supposed to, you don't have to, but otherwise, we thank you very much for respecting this and trying to protect all of us. And also, we want to remind you that you have some QR codes on your badges. So whenever you want a point of reference, you can scan the QR code, which will take you to the different the platforms that have all the agenda, all the schedule, all the locations of our event. Another invitation, you might have noticed a wonderful exhibit in the hallway. It's about a project, a value-based project in which art, values, and urban planning were meeting together. So we invite you to explore it, and if you have any questions regarding this project and the exhibition, feel free to ask, and we are happy to explore further. So with this being said, we are going now to have more welcoming words. And because we said here that, meeting the locals, and we are in Cluj, is quite important, I will invite Mr. Adrian Georgescu, the Deputy Director of the Romanian agency, ANPCDEFP, to come here on the floor and to tell us a few welcoming words. But also I have a question that perhaps you can address. Are you ready for the question?
I'm not, but what can I do?
You know, like the scouts say, always ready. So the question is, if you would have in front of you the golden fish, you know, the one with 3 wishes? Now it's kind of, we have challenges with resources, so we only grant 1 wish. So you have this wonderful golden fish. And what would be the one question, 1 wish you'd have for youth work in Romania? And you can squeeze in also a wish for the Romanian National Agency.
How big is the fish?
How big is the golden fish? Did you, anybody had some wishes granted? You know, the answer is as big as you want.
Okay.
So let's try to put on the mic. Work?
Yeah, it's working. Supposing that I'm not so hungry to eat the fish, what is happening sometime? But no, real, coming from the financing sector, let's say, what I wish to the youth sector in Romania, to the youth work in Romania, it's more financing. Let's say, to make the budget dedicated to education and training of young people at least 5 times more, let's say, for at least 20 years to build something sustainable from now on. And for my agency, you said, we need more people to implement the youth sector programs.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. It is my really pleasure to address you a couple of words in the opening of this event. Welcome to Romania, welcome to Cluj-Napoca, welcome to our national agency, even we are not here in Bucharest, in our premises. First of all, I want to send many thanks to Cluj-Napoca City Hall representatives who welcoming us here in their courtyard, let's say, because probably we occupied an important part of Cluj-Napoca with this event these days, and also for helping us in organizing it. Talking about the City Hall, being a supporter of the active participation of the young people into society, it is worth mentioning that the City Hall was one of the first who understood and helped the young people to make their ideas and voices to be heard, financing the first participatory budgeting project dedicated to informal groups 7 years ago, when Cluj-Napoca was the European capital of youth. I'm glad that both events dedicated to youth work, EGL and starting from tomorrow morning, the National Convention of Youth Workers from Romania, are organized under the umbrella of the European Year of Youth, showing in this way the importance that we, national agencies, local authorities, national authorities, European Commission, we are giving to the young people and their important active role in our society, to the youth work, and especially to the youth workers, you, who you are here for exploring your perspective, needs, and working together for developing of future working plans. In my opinion, the European Year of Youth should be organized much often, probably on a yearly basis, because here we are talking about one of the most important things in our lives, our future, our next generation, with all their rights, possibilities, needs, but also their duty in taking part into the building of our democratic society. As a representative of the Erasmus Plus and Solidarity Corps program in Romania, I'm glad that in the last years, both programs are paying more attention to the youth sector. On one hand, this can be demonstrated by the increasing budget from year to year. For example, in Romania, I give you just an example, from last year till this year, the budget increased with almost 75% for mobility projects in the field of youth, the action where also the youth workers' mobility projects can be financed. On the other hand, the importance it showed also by the efforts made by the national agencies through different cooperation, transnational, let's say, strategic projects, like European Goes Local is, a project that is growing nice from year to year and is helping a lot the youth work. That's why I want to thank you to the whole family of EGL who, let's say, embraced us and received us in the middle from more than 1 year ago, for bringing EGL here in Romania and trusting in us to work together and organize together such an important and big event. We are living quite tough times with, let's say, unpredictable or almost unpredictable and unprecedented challenges at economical, social, environmental level, with, let's say, a high transformation rate in digital developing. And in this environment, our young people are facing a lot of challenges. And even the biggest challenges of our world should be solved by education and skills, the achievements from formal educations not all the time are enough, and there is unable to, let's say, cover all the needs and meet all the requirements. Thus, your role as youth workers become extremely, extremely important in shaping, let's say, the future EU responsible citizen with more inclusive and sustainable behavior, with more digital skills as our society needs. One of the objectives of this, given that one of the objectives of this conference being to create the premises in terms of space and time for developing future working plans and to support the youth work at local level, believing in the power of cooperation and being a partisan of the transversal actions, actions which impact more than one educational sector. Take into account that the youth policy at municipal level lies upon the local authorities which has in their court, let's say, in some countries, the responsibility and also the financing of different other educational institutions. And I'm referring here to schools and high schools, where a great part of your target group is there, the young people. My message to you is, where it's possible, that some of your actions should be organized in close collaboration with these institutions mentioned before. In this way, accept the good practices transfer from one to each other. But in this way, the results of these actions can further contribute to the stimulation and the support of young people to be active citizens and to exercise, let's say, their influence in almost each cell of our society. Thank you. I wish you more than good luck. We say in Romania, baftă. And that's all.
And we give the one clap. Thank you very much. And now we can give also the traditional clap. Thank you very much, Mr. Georgescu, for welcoming us and also for encouraging us with the news about budget and the ambitions about budget given to the golden fish. It is indeed about collaborating, and it is indeed also up to all of us to find the ways to get to the goldfish mind and heart these days and to give these resources. So thank you very much again. And because we are in Cluj, because we have the pleasure also to have the Vice Mayor of Cluj, Ms. Emese Oláh, with us, I would like to invite her on stage, please. And we give a big hand to Ms. Oláh. Thank you. I would invite you to sit here and also let you know that together with the kind welcoming words that you have prepared, we also prepared a question in the beginning. And it's not a difficult question, it's a question aimed to make us smile. And because we are in Cluj, right, we have this cabbage à la Cluj, which is one of the typical dish. But I will not ask you about cabbage today. Okay. I would like to ask you, what does it mean, à la Cluj, in terms of youth work? Yeah? So what is the specificity? What is the mix? What is the flavor of youth work here to make it à la Cluj?
Yes, I think that the recipe for the for the capital Cluj would be much shorter, but yes, we need all activities regarding this very special generation, and I think that the youth sector gives us the dynamicity, the freshness of this city, and it is hard to resume in a few sentences what your activity means for our city, for our municipality, but it's for sure that without the youth sector, Cluj wouldn't be so emerging municipality. So thank you for your work, thank you for your being here, and thank you for your ambition that makes us believe that the future can be happier and can be better for all of us. And let me address you a few words of welcoming here in Cluj-Napoca and at this fourth event of Europe Goes Local Strategic Cooperation. We are all gathered here today because we believe that young people are the forefront of change and innovation, because we acknowledge that young people should be empowered, because we recognize the challenges that they have to face. Young people around the world will not only determine our future, they define what the world looks like today. The young generation is better informed, more socially implicated, and knows more about digital and social revolution than any of us. I am convinced that such a feeling is shared among all of us. It is what brings us together here today. Young people, unfortunately, have to face many burdens, especially when we talk about workforce. Young people are 3 times more likely to be unemployed than adults, and over 14% of young people are looking for a job right now in Europe. In Romania, this rate is higher, it's almost 22%. That's a staggering number, and yet youth work is invaluable in ensuring that young people are given the opportunity to acquire the knowledge, skills, and attitudes they need for the future. The main lesson learned during COVID-19 crisis is that young people have been more strongly affected than older generations. The pandemic and the associated restrictions have aggravated pre-existing youth employment challenges. In light of this, it is not surprising that the EU declared 2022 the European Year of Youth as a recognition of the sacrifices that youth had to make. The support we should give to young generation should be much more decisive now. On this occasion, this fourth event, we have to figure out what the goals are for the youth generation. And we have to make benefit of all EU funds, and we have to use the opportunities given by the European Charter of Local Youth in order to ensure that our future and the youth future would be much more perspective. Cluj-Napoca is a dynamic city and a very youthful vibe, and probably you have seen it, or you will see this in the next days. Our objective is not only to strengthen our engagement with youth, but to ensure that we are making their voices heard and offer youth-driven solutions. We did a lot of, I think there were positive steps after 2015 when we were the European capital of youth, and yet there is a lot to be done. Examples of key programs here in Cluj-Napoca are Fix Cluj, for instance. There is a social innovation fund, the Advisory Council for Youth within the City Hall, the Common Cluj, which is participative budgeting, cooperation with cities that were former European capital of youth. We are developing, after all, a 10-year youth strategy as well on metropolitan area, and we are not working alone. Strategy, it means a cooperation between city halls, between academic institutions, between youth organizations and companies. The main objective is to create premises for a sustainable life for all of us and to give the opportunity to youth to have future prospects and give them all they need in order to all of us to have a better life in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
As well.
Yeah, for your kind words. If you would like to stay a little bit more, please, you can take a seat next to the other guests. We retain that it's a very happening and dynamic city. We retain the invitation to explore this dynamic. We'll have a chance also informally tomorrow. But even now in Cluj, I think there are several, I don't know if not more than 10 parallel events, and we are part of them. So thank you very much for your words. And now we will move to our next speaker. I don't have any more 3 questions for you. Now we move from the, let's say, local perspective to the European perspective and a European welcome. We have here, and I brace to pronounce his name, Mr. Charalampos Papaioannou. Yay! Okay, claps both for you. But also I will tell you a secret about him. We can call him Babis.
Yes. It's the easy thing. I mean, because you need to train, I mean, how to pronounce it in
You need the mic.
I need it.
We need training in pronouncing, and of course, I will invite you to give us the perspective of the European Commission that you're proudly representing here, but not before I ask you
Okay.
my 3 questions. So, if European youth work would be an animal, what would this animal be and why?
Wow.
The floor, the mic is yours now.
Okay, I have the feeling that it's not so difficult question. I can say an octopus. Because there are a lot of reasons to connect octopus with youth work. Okay, first of all, they say, the science says that it's an alien creature because its DNA is not connected with nothing else that we know in our planet. The second thing is because it can adapt very easily in whatever environment, and partly it can go even from the sea area to the land for a little bit, and then returning back. And finally, I can say yes. Also, they say it's one of the most clever creatures in this planet. So I believe what we are doing and what you are doing at the level of your municipalities, your countries as a youth workers, it's something that we need to adapt very, very quickly and to be flexible and, of course, useful for young people and our society. So, why not?
Perfect, perfect. I already feel, and get ideas about how we will do an energizer or an activity at some point with an octopus. But please, do give us also the welcoming words.
Can we use this? Is there any?
Yes,
USB?
you have some slides. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's plug in, and once you plug in, I will tell you also about an octopus, an interesting story. Do you know that they need activities in order not to get bored? So the ones who are actually in captivity, they need every day a different puzzles. Because if they don't have their puzzle every day, they turn in different colors and they get a little bit upset, this octopus. It's a very nice metaphor, and perhaps, you know, the octopus will be the next symbol for European youth work. Who knows?
Okay, thank you very much again. Thank you very much for the invitation, first of all. And I would like to say that I'm really happy being here. I mean, for two reasons. First of all, because I'm in Cluj in a physical format after 2 or 3 years. I was here before the pandemic, and I have a very, very good friends here and very good cooperation with youth civil society in Cluj, starting from the period of the European Youth Capital, but going until now, and I hope the future. And secondly, because it's the Europe Goes Local. It's the European event of the youth of the Europe Goes Local, and I'm really happy that we managed to be all together here in Cluj. For us, for the European Commission, it's clearly that the priority for this year is the European Year of Youth. It's a decision from the European Commission and the European institutions, the Parliament and the Council, for giving back something to the young people who suffer a lot at the time of the pandemic, young people that they saw during the pandemic their intergenerational solidarity, and young people who are ready to move in the next phase, in the next period of the recovery, for dreaming and imagining a Europe that it will be different, more positive, and more ready to accept the ideas of youngsters and youth civil society organizations. We are really happy that until now, more than 2,000 events are taking place, organized and proposed by youth civil society organizations all around Europe, and I believe that we will manage to catch the target of 3,000 activities until the end of the year. There are 4 objectives for the year and why we are organizing and why we are proposing a year on youth. And I can underline and I can focus on the third one, target all young people, included and especially those with career opportunities. This is the message. The message coming after the pandemic is that we need to restructure our policies and to target all young people in Europe. And of course it's not easy. Of course it's not easy to go out of our bubble and to extend what we are doing and to include more young people, especially young people with fewer opportunities, but this is the target and this is why also the year is working for. We are really happy that from the very beginning the year is supported by a list of stakeholders, youth stakeholders. We have a list of 120 youth stakeholders. Europe Goes Local is one. They participate in the meetings in Brussels. It's a coordination in between the Commission and the national agencies, the youth stakeholders, or youth organizations, the European Parliament, the Committee of the Regions. So what is the idea behind? The idea behind is, of course, again, the co-design of what we are doing and what we are planning to do. The interesting thing is that there is, again, a very positive reaction from the young people and from the youth civil society organization. A new initiative that I would like to underline is the policy dialogues. The policy dialogues is something new. So every month or every second month, one of the commissioners is inviting a group of young people, not in general for coffee in Berlaymont building and tour in the city of Brussels, but discuss on a specific topic. And this specific topic is connected with what the commissioner is doing, and at the same time, we are preparing a draft text, a draft conclusion paper that the Commissioner can use for his work. So for us, it's interesting to see that why and how young people can contribute to this dialogue. for the future of Europe and for the needs of the young people in the next period. Of course, I can underline and I can say from the very beginning that we are living in a very strange period again. The pandemic is almost over, but we have the war in Ukraine, and it's really important for us, it's really important for the European institutions, it's really important for the member states to show clearly the solidarity to the young people, to the people of Ukraine, and to ask all together the support of the young people and the youth civil society in Ukraine. That is why we are clearly connecting what we are doing with solidarity activities to people in Ukraine. And it's really interesting that the youth organizations and the youth civil societies very positively reply to that. Two very interesting new initiatives that they will come in the next period is a study on young people in rural and remote areas. It's a new priority and I would like to encourage also you coming from the national agencies and the civil society organizations, municipalities to support us by providing information about the conditions of the young people in rural and remote areas, and a Eurobarometer study about youth and democracy and a study that it will focus about the understanding of the young people about democracy now. A new platform that started a week before, 2 weeks before, let's say 26th of April, is the Youth Voices. The Youth Voices is a very interesting new tool that we create in Brussels under the Year of Youth, giving the opportunity to young people, giving the opportunity to record a message, a 1-minute message to European Union institutions, proposing something, putting a topic, asking for something, or make a statement about the new conditions and the recovery period. The interesting thing is that from the very beginning, hundreds and thousands of young people start to use the platform, and we are really happy also to encourage your organizations, your networks, to use this tool and to ask your young people in a local area to record and to send a voice message to Brussels. Youth work is a new priority, a totally new priority, and the implementation of the European Youth Work Agenda and the Bonn process, it's a really important priority for us, and because we are also in the level of the Europe Goes Local, you can understand why this is important also for what you are doing. So European Commission, in cooperation with the Council of Europe, we took the decision to make a total restart of the process for the agenda, and we are expecting at the end of after summer to have the platform ready in order to include and to invite youth workers and youth workers associations to participate. Finally, the new tool, the Discover EU, which is based on mobility proposals and mobility opportunities for youngsters, for very young people, 18 years old. It's a successful model. It is very good results. We have thousands of youngsters that they participate, and they are taking the opportunity to travel mainly by train around Europe. Now we close the call, and the new call will be in October. We are really happy about this initiative, and of course I can say that there is a new initiative, a peer learning activity on volunteering in Europe, which is bringing us in front of the new conditions on volunteering, the new ways of approaching volunteering for the period after the pandemic. So this is more or less the concept. This is what is coming, and I would like also to encourage the Europe Goes Local family to participate, to actively use the new tools, and of course to invite all the young people that they are behind your networks to participate actively in the next period in these initiatives under the Year of Youth. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the lovely invitation, and I think it is up to all that you saw there to be part. We saw policies, we saw invitations not just for coffee breaks, but for policy discussions. We saw working groups being established, and in these days, we hope to explore this further and to really give substance to the conversations. So it will be up to us what puzzles we offer to the octopus. With this being said, I would like to invite our next guest. He already knows. And Mr. Koen Lambert is the director of the Belgian-Flemish National Agency and also a very knowledgeable person when it comes to EGL, right? So thank you for accepting the invitation to welcome us from the very heart of Europe Goes Local. And of course, you have a question.
I was afraid, so yes.
Yes. The question is, if you were to be on a youth exchange, let's imagine on a desert island, which is surrounded by a big ocean filled with octopuses. Yeah. And on that island, on this youth exchange, there would be only young people. What would be the 3 objects you would take with you there, and why?
Okay, thank you. It's quite a question because I'm completely ineligible to take part in a youth exchange.
The golden fish arranged it.
The golden fish arranged it, yes. But what I would take with me for sure is minimum 1 trained youth worker, because I believe that they are perfectly capable of running such a youth exchange. And it's better that they do it than I would do it. Yeah? So that would really be very reassuring to have somebody like that. And then I think the next thing I would take is the European Handbook of Icebreakers, because even if there's so much sand on that island, I think we still need icebreaking there. And finally, I am sure that we also need a nice playlist to have some fun in the evening.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I hope I passed this exam. And,
what do you say? Passed?
I would like to...
I think so, yeah.
To thank all of you to be here, to start with. Thanks to Babis and to Adrian for the kind words of welcoming and support for Europe Goes Local. And yes, finally, we have the opportunity to meet again, to gather and continue the journey of Europe Goes Local, based this time on in-person exchange and discussion, and not any longer with these terrible online Zoom or Teams sessions that we have suffered in the past 2 years. This is the fourth conference, the first one since COVID came to its final phase, I hope. And we are here with more determination than ever to continue to support local youth work and the development of youth work on municipal level. Happy and grateful to be hosted by the city of Cluj and by the Romanian National Agency, because with both partners we have felt that we share this determination and the enthusiasm about youth work and about the powerful role that municipalities and local youth work providers play to the benefit of young people in Europe. So, sincere thanks to the city and to the Romanian colleagues for the hard work and the excellent work in preparing and organizing this conference. In the coming days, we will be located here in this splendid environment, I have to say, in this innovation center. So there's no better environment than this to inspire our discussions, to boost our efforts, and to renew and innovate our Europe Goes Local project and in post-COVID times. As it has been communicated before to you, we've been planning and preparing some important next steps and some new ambitions with Europe Goes Local. I won't spoil the next sessions by naming all of these, but I'd like to stress in this opening that we are, so to speak, innovating in continuity. We will certainly build further on our achievements from the past years and use them as a base to intensify our cooperation, increase the impact of Europe Goes Local, and involve more partners and actors. And this brings me to you, all the participants in this conference. I think facilitators will make it visible later in this session, but a lot of you are here for the first time in an AGL conference. So I'd like to welcome you, especially you, with great pleasure in our family, and invite you also to stay connected with it once this event is over, and you will all have the possibility to do that. We invite you to discover what Europe Goes Local has been and achieved so far, and to make use of it in your own context, to become an ambassador of the European Charter for Local Youth Work, or to be the link between your municipality and the European programs for young people. And then, of course, we also have here the diehards of Europe Goes Local, those who have been here from the past, from the start, or since the first years. A lot of colleagues from national agencies supporting and building together the cooperation. So also thanks to you, diehards of EGL, to be here again and to share your experience and to think further than where we have arrived so far. And if today we have good reasons to look forward with some vodka and with optimism to the further development of EGL, it should not stop us also from being aware of the actual and real hardship in Europe. In the past years, also some cities in Ukraine became connected with EGL thanks to the efforts of the Salto Resource Center for Eastern Europe. And today, all of us are quite familiar with the names of cities like Lviv, Sumy, Irpin, or Zaporizhzhia, unfortunately for so very wrong reasons. And our solidarity with the cities of Ukraine is in a lot of places expressed by the aid to and the support for refugees in local communities. But next to that, I think the best reply of Europe Goes Local is to show that international cooperation and common resilience is working and that it's really making our societies better. Then coming back to our discussions in the next days, the idea is that their outcome should lead us into an innovative Europe Goes Local cooperation as a platform, a European platform, becoming a sustainable result of the European Year of Youth. Babis has mentioned a lot of initiatives and tracks that the European Commission is following in that context. But I think that all actors in the youth field, as it also has been said, should contribute and go and strive for not one-off activities only in this year, but also for sustainable results of our activities. The whole setup of this conference is ready for that. So thanks to the steering group of Europe Goes Local and also the work of national agencies in all participating countries. And the venue here is very much supporting our goals. It also hosts a film studio, I discovered. So that makes you dream, at least me, of writing this splendid scenario for a blockbuster or something like that. But that might be too high as an ambition. So today, I simply invite you to join us in writing a new scenario for EGL in the coming years. So I wish you a splendid and inspiring conference, and thanks for your contributions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we're already having yet another metaphor, a scenario that we are creating for a film. And with this, we take the opportunity to thank again also our hosts here at CREIC. And to invite you to explore even more than the exhibition, but to explore this entire place. which is a collaborative project between the different actors in Cluj, and it does include a film studio, as you discovered, but also it includes laboratories for AX and artificial intelligence. So it's really one of the newer spaces for innovation and also for learning, connected to a big extent to youth, but not only to youth. So, as you may be anticipating, we are having now more get to know each other. But before we start, I would like to invite you to shout out one word, one concept that perhaps you have heard retained from this initial panel. So, what do you take with you? One word, one concept. Shout it out. Give yourself a chance to get energized this morning. Voice. Youth voice. Purpose. We have a very active table here, right? They were very, you know, who normally sits in the first row also in school, because normally everybody goes in the back, but here